Hi everyone, welcome to EngTalks. Today, we've got something exciting for you. Your ultimate restaurant language survival guide. Forget dry textbooks. We're diving into real phrases and tips you can actually use. If you've ever felt nervous ordering food or talking to servers, this video will change that. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on fun, practical lessons like this. Let's jump right in.
Hey Ravi, I thought today would be a great opportunity to teach you some practical English phrases for ordering food at a restaurant. Are you ready to learn some real-world communication skills?
Absolutely. I always struggle with knowing what to say when I'm ordering food. Sometimes I feel nervous about making mistakes or not understanding everything.
That's totally normal. Let's start by walking through the entire process, from getting a table to paying the bill. First things first. When you enter a restaurant, you'll want to get the host's attention.
How do I do that politely?
Great question. You can say something like, "Excuse me, table for two, please?" Or, "Hi there, we'd like a table." The key is to be clear and friendly.
Excuse me, table for two, please. Got it. What happens next?
The host will likely ask, "Smoking or non-smoking?" Though these days, most places are completely non-smoking. They might also ask, "Would you like a booth or a table?"
What's the difference between a booth and a table?
A booth is a seated area with cushioned benches on two sides, usually against a wall. A table is just a freestanding table with chairs. Booths are often more private and comfortable.
Oh, I see. So I could say, we'd prefer a booth, please.
Exactly. Once you're seated, the server will come and give you menus. They'll typically start with, "Hi, can I get you something to drink?"
What are some good ways to respond?
You could say, "I'll have a water, please." Or, "Do you have iced tea?" If you want to be more specific, you might ask, "What soft drinks do you have?" Or, "What are your drink specials?"
What does soft drinks mean?
Soft drinks are non-alcoholic beverages like soda, cola, lemonade, basically any cold drink that isn't water, juice, tea, or coffee. The term soft distinguishes them from hard drinks that contain alcohol.
That makes sense. So when the server comes, I should be ready with my drink order.
Absolutely. After drinks, they'll ask, "Are you ready to order?" This is your cue to look at the menu and decide what you want.
And how do I actually order my food?
You can say something like, "I'll have the cheeseburger," or "Can I get the Caesar salad, please?" If you want to make a special request, you can add details.
What kind of special requests?
Great question. You might say things like, "Can I have this without onions?" Or, "Could I get the dressing on the side?" Or, "I'm allergic to nuts. Can you confirm this dish is nut-free?"
Wow, that's helpful. What if something isn't exactly what I want?
You can always ask, "What comes with this dish?" to understand the full meal, or, "Can I substitute the fries with a salad?" Restaurants are usually quite flexible.
What does substitute mean?
Substitute means to replace one thing with another. In a restaurant, it means changing one part of your meal for something else, like replacing French fries with a side salad.
Ah, that's useful to know. And what about portion sizes?
Great point. In many American restaurants, you can ask about portion sizes. You might say, "How big is this portion?" Or, "Is this enough for two people?"
Speaker one, I've always wondered how to understand American restaurant menus. They can be so complicated.
That's a common challenge for many language learners. Let me break down some typical menu terminology for you. For instance, when you see appetizers or starters, these are small dishes you eat before the main course.
So what does main course mean?
Great question. The main course is the primary dish of your meal, typically the largest portion that serves as the center of your eating experience. It's usually the most substantial part of your meal, like a steak, fish, or chicken dish.
Oh, so it's different from side dishes?
Exactly. Side dishes are smaller portions that accompany your main course. They might be things like vegetables, rice, potatoes, or salad. For example, if you order a steak, it might come with mashed potatoes and steamed broccoli as side dishes.
Speaking of ordering, what are some polite ways to ask about ingredients or preparation methods?
Excellent question. You can ask things like, how was this prepared? Or what's in this dish? If you have dietary restrictions, you might say, I'm vegetarian. Can you recommend something? Or, does this contain dairy?
Those sound very useful. What about when the food arrives and something isn't quite right?
If something isn't correct, you can politely say to the server, excuse me, I ordered this without onions. Or, I'm sorry, but this isn't what I expected. Could you help me? Politeness is key in American restaurant culture.
So what does dietary restrictions mean?
Dietary restrictions are limitations on what someone can eat due to health, ethical, religious, or personal reasons. For example, being vegetarian, not eating meat, being gluten-free, having a nut allergy, or keeping kosher are all types of dietary restrictions.
That's helpful. And what about tipping? I've heard it's very important in the United States.
Great topic! In the US, tipping is a crucial part of restaurant culture. Typically, you're expected to tip between 15 to 20% of your total bill. Servers often earn a very low base wage and rely on tips as a major part of their income.
So how do I calculate the tip?
An easy method is to look at the total bill and move the decimal point one place to the left. That gives you 10%. Then add half of that amount to reach about 15%. For example, on a $50 bill, 10% would be $5. So 15% would be $7.50.
And what if the service is really exceptional?
If the service is outstanding, you might tip up to 20% or even more. You can write the tip amount on the credit card slip or leave cash on the table. Always remember to say thank you to your server.
And are there any common phrases I should know when finishing my meal?
Absolutely. When you're done, you can say to the server, could I have the check, please? Or may I have the bill? When paying, you might say, I'd like to pay, or I'll take care of the bill.
And what's the difference between check and bill?
In American English, check and bill mean exactly the same thing when talking about a restaurant. They both refer to the document that shows what you've ordered and how much you need to pay. Check is slightly more casual, but both are perfectly acceptable.
Any other restaurant vocabulary I should know?
Let's cover a few more. To go means you want to take your food with you instead of eating at the restaurant. Doggy bag is an informal term for a container, to take leftover food home. Refill means getting more of a drink, like could I get a refill on my water?
Wow, there's so much to learn.
Restaurant language is a great way to improve your practical English skills. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Sarah, can you tell me about different types of restaurants in America? I've heard there are so many varieties.
Great observation. In the US, we have tons of restaurant types. You've got fast food restaurants, which are quick and inexpensive, like McDonald's or Burger King. Then there are casual dining restaurants, like diners, which are more relaxed. Fine dining restaurants are more formal and typically more expensive.
What's a diner? I've heard that word before.
A diner is a classic American restaurant type, typically casual and often open 24 hours. They usually have a wide-ranging menu with everything from breakfast to burgers to milkshakes. They're known for their friendly service and comfortable atmosphere. Many diners have those classic counters where you can sit and watch the cook prepare your food.
That sounds interesting. What are some typical diner foods?
Classic diner foods include things like hamburgers, grilled cheese sandwiches, pancakes, omelets, milkshakes, and apple pie. They're famous for American comfort food. If you walk into a typical diner, you'll often see a huge menu board and servers who might call you honey or sweetie. It's part of the friendly culture.
But is that considered rude?
Not at all. In casual American restaurants, especially diners and cafes in certain regions, using terms like honey or sweetie is a sign of friendliness, not disrespect. It's more common in southern and midwestern states.
And what about different meal times? In my country, meal times are quite different.
Great point. In America, we typically have 3 main meal times. Breakfast is usually from 6 to 10 a.m., lunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and dinner from 5 to 8 p.m. But restaurants often serve breakfast all day now.
And what does all day breakfast mean?
All day breakfast means the restaurant serves breakfast items throughout the entire day, not just in the morning. So you could order pancakes or an omelette at 7 p.m. if you want. It's become really popular in many restaurants.
And I've noticed Americans use a lot of unique words when ordering food. Can you explain some?
Absolutely. For example, if you want your steak cooked a certain way, you might specify the doneness. Rare means very red in the middle. Medium rare is slightly less red. Medium has some pink. Medium well has just a little pink. And well done means completely cooked through.
What's a to-go order?
A to-go order means you're taking the food with you instead of eating at the restaurant. You might say to a server, "I'd like this to go, please." Or, "Can I get this as a takeout?" Takeout and to-go mean the same thing, food prepared at the restaurant but eaten somewhere else.
Are there any phrases I should avoid in a restaurant?
Great question. Avoid speaking too loudly. Don't snap your fingers to get a server's attention. And always say please and thank you. In American restaurants, politeness goes a long way. If you need something, raise your hand slightly or make eye contact with the server and say, "Excuse me."
What about food allergies? How do I communicate those?
Always be very clear about allergies. You can say, "I have a severe allergy to nuts," or "I'm allergic to shellfish. Can you ensure my meal won't have any cross-contamination?" Most restaurants are very careful about food allergies and will take your concerns seriously.
What does cross-contamination mean?
Cross-contamination is when food allergens accidentally mix with other foods. For example, if a kitchen uses the same cutting board or cooking surface for nuts and other foods, someone with a nut allergy could have a reaction. Restaurants train their staff to prevent this.
This is so helpful. Are there any unwritten rules in American restaurants?
Great observation. Some unwritten rules include: don't talk loudly on your phone, tip your server, don't camp at a table for hours during busy times, and if you're sharing a bill, it's polite to split it evenly or use apps like Venmo to pay each other back precisely.
What does camp at a table mean?
Camping at a table means staying at your restaurant table for a long time after you've finished eating, especially during busy periods when other customers are waiting. It's considered impolite in busy restaurants.
Sarah, I think it would be helpful if we did a comprehensive review of the most important words and phrases I might need in a restaurant.
That's an excellent idea. Let's go through a systematic review of restaurant vocabulary and phrases that will help you feel confident when dining out.
Could we break it down into different categories?
Perfect approach. Let's review phrases and vocabulary in different sections: greeting and seating, ordering drinks, ordering food, making special requests, and paying the bill.
I'm ready. Can we start with greeting and seating?
Absolutely. Here are the key phrases for greeting and seating. Greeting phrases: "Hi, table for prospective customers is included because it helps improve the experience." "Please. Excuse me, we'd like a table. Could we sit here?"
What does table 4 mean exactly?
Table for table tells the host how many people are in your group. So table for 2 means you need a table that can seat 2 people. It's a standard, polite way to request seating. Seating preferences. Do you have a booth? Can we sit by the window? Would you prefer smoking or non-smoking? Though most places are now non-smoking.
What's the difference between a booth and a table?
A booth is a seated area with cushioned benches on 2 sides, usually against a wall. A regular table is a freestanding table with individual chairs. Booths are typically more private and comfortable. Drink ordering phrases. What drinks do you have? I'll have a water, please. Could I get an iced tea? Do you have any soft drinks?
You mentioned soft drinks before. Can you explain that again?
Soft drinks are non-alcoholic beverages like soda, cola, lemonade, basically any cold drink that isn't water, juice, tea, or coffee. The term soft distinguishes them from hard drinks that contain alcohol. Food ordering phrases. I'll have the dish name, please. What do you recommend? What comes with this dish?
What does what comes with this dish mean?
When you ask what comes with this dish, you're asking about the side dishes or accompaniments that are included with your main course. For example, if you order a steak, you might want to know if it comes with vegetables, potato, or salad. Special request phrases. Can I have this without? I asked before taking his money card. Can you confirm this is safe? Could I substitute? With, can I get the dressing on the side?
What does on the side mean?
On the side means the item, like salad dressing, is served in a separate small dish, allowing you to control how much you use. So if you say dressing on the side, the dressing won't be already mixed with your salad. Checking and paying phrases. Could I have the check, please? May I have the bill? I'd like to pay. Can we split the bill?
What's the difference between check and bill?
In American English, check and bill mean exactly the same thing when talking about a restaurant. They both refer to the document showing what you've ordered and how much you need to pay. Check is slightly more casual, but both are perfectly acceptable. Vi misiones.
This is incredibly helpful. Are there any cultural tips I should know?
Remember these key cultural points. Always say please and thank you. Tip between 15 to 20% of your total bill. Speak at a moderate volume. Be patient and polite with servers. If something isn't right, ask politely for help.
I feel much more prepared now.
And that's a wrap on today's Restaurant Survival Guide. Here's a quick tip for mastering English. Practice makes perfect. Watch this video again, pause, and repeat the phrases out loud to make them stick. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more practical lessons like this. And don't stop here. Explore the channel for more videos to boost your confidence in English. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.